I'd like to call to order a meeting of the Borough of Spring Lake Heights, the regular meeting of April 11, 2011, regular session. Would you stand please for a moment of silent reflection and salute to the flag. I'd like to ask you to remember the poor girl that was killed over the weekend on our train tracks. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Talking about the amended agenda that was just placed on our days?
Yes, yes, I am. Any discussion? May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Ms. Cynthia?
Here. Yes.
We're amending the agenda.
No, we're approving the
We're
amended.
approving the
Amending
agenda.
the agenda.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Deaver?
Yes.
Ms. King?
Yes.
Mr. Mechanico?
Yes.
Mr. Warback?
No.
May I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the regular session of March 7th?
I'll make that motion.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The executive session of March 7th and March 14th also.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Any discussion? May I have a roll call?
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Ms. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mr. Deaver?
Yes.
Ms. King?
Yes.
Mr. Mechanico?
Yes.
Mr. Warback?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Minutes are approved.
We're up to special items. I just have a few comments. Just a reminder that the shredder is coming June 4th. The shredder will be in the school parking lot. And you can just drive through and bring, I think it is 50 pounds of material to be shredded. So that's June 4th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the school parking lot. Also, we're having a senior citizen computer class on the 30th of this month from 10 to 12 at school. I think it's being advertised outside if anyone is interested, or you can get more information from Mrs. Eilenberger, I believe. At this time, I'd like to also thank the trendsetters. The trendsetters have decided to donate to the town bike racks to be used at the community center. And I guess because a lot of the people coming to the trendsetters meetings now are using bicycles, and they have talked about the need for bike racks, and they have offered to purchase those. And I might add, they are not inexpensive, which we have found out. So the trendsetters will be providing us with new bike racks down at the community center, and we certainly thank them for that. Council committee reports. Councilman Brennan.
Yes.
Madam Mayor?
Oh, sorry.
Did we skip the closed session minutes for March 7th?
We did them
Oh,
both.
the regular session minutes for March 7th?
We did them all.
Very good.
We did them together.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got ahead of you. Councilman Brennan.
Yes, on buildings and grounds, I just wanted to compliment our public works.
Microphone. Thanks.
On buildings and grounds, I'd just like to compliment our public works people who got out at just in time for the opening day of Little League, the new refuse and recycling stations throughout Allaire Road Park. They are handsome and well placed, and they were well received. And I got a number of compliments by the attendees at the fields. On that note, I also have been hearing a couple of things. The bathrooms that are in the building in the outside of the center field fence of the main field are in deplorable condition. Now, we have obtained a development grant to renovate those bathrooms, and that's great, but that renovation is going to be sometime in the future. There is presently, they are in sore need of some attention and care. And as Buildings and Grounds Chair, I'm going to be taking care of that. And what I'm going to be asking right now of my fellow council members is authority to have our Chief Financial Officer secure and make payment to somebody appropriate to put in a temporary situation where we have at least lights. The lights in the buildings, there is no electricity running to that building for some reason. There are light fixtures and switches in place, but there are no lights. And it's a safety concern, it's an aesthetic concern, and something needs to be done immediately.
So John, we need a line that goes,
We're gonna need a line in. Now, since we're gonna be undergoing renovation at that building, my idea is when you do renovation, and the renovation, by the way, includes electrical installation, but since we're part of any renovation, one of the first steps would be to run a temporary electric service to the location. So I think what we should do is we should proceed immediately. Does anybody have an objection to this approach? Any
we
fellow
might even
council
be
members?
able to get somebody to do it for us.
No, so I don't hear any objections, so I have the authority then to have our Chief Financial Officer proceed with that work. Very good. Additionally, the other thing that I've heard is the Fletcher property. In some sort of weird charade, the Environmental Commission, which has not been meeting now for several months, I guess it's dysfunctional, is decided that the Fletcher property should be an arboretum. For those of you who know what don't know what an arboretum is, an arboretum, excuse me. An arboretum is essentially a tree farm. It's a misapplication of, and I've been hearing this repeatedly from a number of people, not only folks who have children, but people outside of the folks who have children, that to acquire a property of 2.5 acres with $1.5 million of public funds for purposes of letting it stand with a tree farm is not what the community seeks or desires. So I think it's time right now that we have a serious, open conversation about what we're going to do with such a property. And as far as the extremists on the Environmental Commission or former Environmental Commission, whatever it is, I think they need to be silent on this subject.
John, what are you suggesting then, a meeting or a discussion at the council?
Yes, I do. I think we should inform the community that this is a serious discussion that we need to have as a community-based discussion. We have monies, we're collecting $117,000 a year in an open space trust fund, which was approved by our voters. And that money could easily be utilized to develop the property, the Fletcher property, in a way which is best serving the needs of the community and not some environmentally extreme wing group.
Okay, we can have a meeting, is that it, John?
Can I ask,
Butch?
Mr. President, who are these extremists you're talking about?
I think everybody knows.
We do, okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know.
John, do you have anything else?
No.
Councilwoman Cindy, salary and wage?
Well, everyone was provided with the salary and wage ordinance. We have the salary and wage ordinance with home. I didn't hear back from anybody. Right now, it's a flat increase across the board, zero tax increase, salary freeze, as they would like to say. Whether or not there'd be additional cuts in stipends or whatnot, I know Councilman Brennan at one time had indicated that he'd like to see a couple of stipends be decreased. That is yet to be proposed. I'm willing to discuss whatever anybody brings to the table. And otherwise, this will go forward with the zero increase, the same as it was 2010. and then I'll check the budget later.
But we're not voting on this tonight,
Salary range ordinance.
no.
Because nobody's gotten back to me.
Okay.
I didn't.
Anything?
Would you, does everybody wanna go ahead with the zero tax increase? I think John will be the one, that had more of the changes
I have
that
not.
you wanted to propose. I don't wanna put this forward, John, and then you'd be against it.
Well,
and-
my only question about the salary and wage ordinance is, we have not concluded an agreement with the Public Works Association. And I recall not too long ago, in fact, probably about 14 months ago, being told by you, Ms. Zendaya, that there was no possible way we could ever introduce a salary wage ordinance without first concluding an agreement. And I'd like to know why it is you've had to change of heart.
My understanding is that the Public Works.
Can't hear you, Patty.
They can't hear you.
I'm sorry, my understanding is that the Public Works, and, well, I can't discuss what is going on in negotiations, but we can always amend the salary and wage ordinance to reflect any agreement that they get a raise. I mean, I think that we need a zero tax increase though. I mean, we need a zero tax increase, just with the budget alone is only increasing, it's not decreasing. We just found out that with the tax appeals, you know, we're looking at $60,000 deficit in our budget this year. Last year, we got hit last year with a big decrease. You know, this is compounding year after year. Our tax, you know, we haven't had a tax increase now since 2009. And, but our revenues are going down, so we have to offset that somehow. And the salary and wage ordinance right now is flat increase. However, there are areas where we can make some changes in different people's stipends if we want to. We can discuss it with those individuals as to whether or not they would be willing to stay on at a reduced rate. And whether or not that is something somebody wants to discuss or not. I thought, John, you had indicated to me a few stipends that you thought we could decrease. And whether or not you want to bring
Decrease
that.
stipends, I'm sorry, Patty.
Stipends, there's the emergency management stipend, there's, the fire inspector stipend, there's, you know, the recycling stipend that, the superintendent received. There are several different stipends that, Mr. Drummond had discussed.
I don't recall ever having a discussion about stipends with you, Ms. Zendaya.
Any other discussion on this? Tom?
we're only talking about the committee reports right now, right?
Pardon?
We're only talking about the committee reports. This will come up
We're
later.
just talking about the salary and wage.
It's just a
It's not
discussion,
even-
we're not voting.
Just a
We're not
discussion.
voting,
Later,
just,
right? This is
yeah,
a committee report, so I'm not gonna
If you
discuss
have-
it now
right.
until later.
yeah.
We would like to vote on it as soon as possible, so if you have any issues, if you could bring them up to me soon. Well, no,
Well,
this
we'll
week,
discuss it.
yeah.
Councilman Dibber?
First thing that I'm very happy to, also, I was, in terms of the garbage pails recyclable pails being put in the park this past weekend, I actually did receive an email from Kat Crippen, who had